Evening, everybody. It is now 6:30, and I will call this meeting of the Planning Commission to order. On the first item of our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Does staff have any changes?
No changes from staff.
Commissioners?
No.
No changes. Do I hear a motion?
I move. Second.
No.
So moved by, I'm sorry.
I moved.
Okay,
I
and then
moved.
who seconded? Okay. The next item is the approval of minutes. Is there any changes from staff?
None from staff.
Commissioners?
No.
No changes? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I'll abstain since I wasn't here.
Okay. Motion carries. I'm sorry, I forgot to do that for the adoption of the agenda as well. So all those in favor of adoption of the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. The third item for the oath of office is swearing in the new planning commissioner, Nick Anderson.
So you'll just stand here with your arm up and repeat after me. I, Nick Anderson, do solemnly swear
I, Nick Anderson, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Minnesota.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Minnesota,
And faithfully will discharge the duties
and faithfully will discharge the duties
as a member of the Burnsville Planning Commission
as a member of the Burnsville Planning Commission
of the city of Burnsville
at the city of Burnsville
in the county of Dakota and state of Minnesota
in the county of Dakota and state of Minnesota
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. And you can just sign here and join your fellow commissioners.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, item number 4 is the election of the vice chair. Do I hear a motion or
I
any
move.
discussion?
I move that Commissioner Timmerman become our new vice chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion? None? Everybody, all those in favor of saying aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. The next item is a public hearing for the application of a CenterPoint Energy for Conditional Use Permit Amendment for essential services to allow training facilities and outdoor storage of temporary trailers to train field technicians at 11500 12th Avenue South. Thank you, Ms. Arnold.
Thank you, Chair Henderson. Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Tonight's agenda item is Conditional Use Permit Amendment for a large parcel in the northern part of the city of Burnsville. So the subject site is zoned I-1 Industrial Park District. Essential services and structures are allowed by conditional use permit in this zoning district. Outdoor storage is also allowed through this conditional use. So the site is 112 acres in size. It's guided I&D industrial office for our 2040 comprehensive plan. The properties to the east and to the south are similarly zoned industrial and guided industrial, and the properties to the north and west are guided open space. So parking on the proposed site is accommodated through what's existing on site for the regulator building for the essential services. There are no new additions to parking planned or proposed, and access to the site as a whole is through a paved drive aisle, pictured here, coming at the site from the east. Access to the proposed training area where there will be training of their service technicians as well as the outdoor storage of the training trailers for use will be through an existing gravel path shown here towards a clearing area where they'll have this training area for their field technicians. The ordinance allows for screening requirements for outdoor storage to be met by existing vegetation and topography. This site is a heavily wooded area that is set back about 600 feet from neighboring properties. The site elevation provides screening naturally from neighboring properties and from private and public roadways. So pictured here is the clearing area. There are multiple spots and locations where these training sheds or trailers can be placed in their storage area. They will be temporary and will be able to be moved, and will be utilized for mimicking service calls to homes, gas leaks, etc. So here's an example provided by the applicant of some of the proposed training trailers that would be stored on site as part of this application proposal. So, general application and planning considerations related to the conditional use. The processing of the CUP amendment is necessary to accommodate the essential services and structures for the training location, as well as to allow this new outdoor storage component. The applicant is operating under an existing conditional use permit for the essential services that have been in place since before the incorporation of the city of Burnsville. So no new landscaping materials, additional paving, or parking are included as part of this proposal. It's just for the expansion of their training services and the outdoor storage. No anticipated negative impacts to adjacent properties. For the proposal, the new training area will be able to exist compatibly on the subject site with the essential service, the regulator building that's existing in this location. As mentioned before, setbacks and some of the existing topography will screen the area. At this location's last conditional use permit amendment in 2013, a condition was added that indicated that significant future improvements to the site would trigger the platting process. So due to the scope and the size of this parcel, limited scope of the proposal, a plat's not required as part of this application. Future development or redevelopment of the site would move forward with this type of necessity for a plat, but a condition is included that states that the conditions of previous approvals are in full force and effect with the approval of this conditional use permit amendment. The recommendation from staff, we are recommending approval of the conditional use permit amendment application with the condition as stated that previous approvals remain in full force and effect. This will be a public hearing, and a representative from the applicant's team is in the audience if you have any more questions about the proposal as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Ms. Arnold or for the applicant? Commissioner Timmerman, sorry.
I'd just like to hear from the applicant a little bit about what this proposal is and what they've looked at throughout the process working with the city.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Ross Hedlund. I'm with Frau & Schuh Commercial Real Estate. I'm here on behalf of CenterPoint Energy with an address of 7101 West 78th Street, Bloomington. In terms of what we were looking at, and thank you very much for Sarah too to help us kind of navigate this process, but really just looking at trying to be able to provide a better facility for training of technicians. There's a number of tasks that they need to go through initially when they're hired or initially when they move into this position, then continuing education requirements as well every few years, and trying to bring that to just a more utilizable site. So with this, they've got this extra land there that they'd be looking to essentially bring, as was shown in the site plan, just utility hookups with gas and electric, and then the ability then to bring these trailers there and be able to monitor and really standardize some of that training in as safe and efficient a way as possible to continue to provide essential services. So other than that, I don't think there's any changes that we're really proposing, but just want to make sure that the city and everyone else is aware of it and try to be as good of neighbors as possible and make sure that we cross all the right T's and dot all the right I's so that there's no surprises for anybody.
Any other questions? Okay. I have a couple myself. For your training area, will there be training during the wintertime?
Yes, I believe it will be potentially year-round.
Okay, because it seemed like the parking lot was kind of far away from the training area, so people would have to trek from the parking lot to the training area. There's not gonna be an accessory building or anything there to keep people warm when they're not training?
Correct, no, it will just be, the temporary shelters, they, would be able to drive trucks up to those sites though as well.
Okay,
So they would, be able to then respond as though they were driving up to a house, essentially, if that makes sense.
okay, yes, it does. And then, when you're doing any of your testing, is there gonna be any significant gas odors that the neighbors would notice? Or that they should be aware about?
There should not be any significant, there'd be minor odors that would be within the immediate area there, but I think
Okay.
that the distance from, any neighbors it wouldn't be that large of.
Okay. And then I have a question for you, Sarah, or maybe for the applicant as well, on that schematic that you showed with, what is it, the training area layout. Are those, I was trying to understand with the legend and corresponding items down on the bottom there, what are the black squares?
So the black would be, examples of the movable.
Okay, okay,
Facilities that they'll have for the training opportunities. And then it's also illustrating how it can be moved around for different scenarios.
right. And then what are the circles with the cross hatches through them?
Those would be potentially where the, gas hook, or the gas and electrical hookups would be, so that those could be potential sites for the trailers.
Oh,
to be
so they're,
moved to.
okay, because it looks like through the gravel road, it appears that there's some gas hookups through the gravel road, if I'm reading that correctly.
So it's meant to
Does
be
it-
representational of how they could fit multiple of the available locations for different training, depending on the number and the scale of people present for training.
So you can, I guess I'm trying to understand, you can move gas hookups? Is that,
The hookups themselves would not move, but the temporary trailers that they would be using for their training opportunities will be movable.
okay, so then those that are going, the gas hookups that are going through the gravel road, are they gonna stay there, are they gonna move, or, I guess that's my question, because it looks like right now, you'll be driving over the gas hookups on the gravel road.
It's meant to be representational of how many they could broadly fit in the
Okay.
overall training area,
Okay,
but not
okay.
necessarily a specific
Where?
pinpoint of where the
Okay.
utilities will exactly be hooked up into the ground.
Okay, good,
Does that help?
thank you,
Okay,
yes,
great.
thank you. Commissioner John?
I was just gonna ask, so this is a new training facility, or were you doing training before?
They do train at a number of their different facilities around town,
Oh, okay,
yep.
interesting, there's never been any issues at those facilities either?
CenterPoint hasn't had any issues to my knowledge.
Good, sounds like a win-win. Thank you for coming into Burnsville.
Absolutely.
Okay, are there any more questions, commissioners? Okay, then I will open the public hearing at 6:43 PM. If there's anybody from the audience who would like to come up and speak, you can do so. Please state your name and address for the record and sign in on the sheet if you already haven't done so.
My name is Alan Lynch. I am the owner of the building at 850 East Cliff Road, right in front of their place. My whole backyard is their area. I just wanted to come and say I'm in total support of letting them do what they want to do there as a businessman. And that's really all I wanted to say, but I did want to make my voice heard, because usually people object to everything, and I thought, I don't want to object, I want them to know I was okay with it. So you guys sent me a notice in the mail that I should, to look at this, so I did, and I appreciated it, and I'm in full support of it, so
Great,
that
thank
was
you.
all, thank you.
Are there any other comments? Okay, I will close the public hearing at 6:44. Commissioners, any other questions or comments, concerns? Commissioner Timmerman?
I just want to say I think it's a great idea to create a safety and training facility for CenterPoint. And it's exciting to have CenterPoint located in Burnsville and having the company be concerned about new employees as well as existing employees getting the best training they can have. It's nice to know that they will be well-trained and working in our city. So thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody want to make a motion?
Can you bring that screen back up?
Yes, I can.
Just gotta pull it up.
Commissioner Awad.
I would like to make a motion that the planning commission recommend to the city council approval of the conditional use permit amendment for essential services to allow training facilities and the outdoor storage of temporary trailers to train field technicians at 11500 12th Avenue South with the following condition. Condition number 1, as listed.
I second that motion.
By Commissioner Roberts. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Okay, let's see. Next up. Oh, I'm sorry, that is going to go to, on the city council agenda on September 3rd. So then, our last item is updates.
Yes, so your next meeting will be on Monday, August 26th at 6:30 p.m. And distributing the draft agenda for that meeting at this time. And that is all the updates from staff.
Commissioners, do you have any updates? Okay, Commissioner Timmerman?
I just want to briefly acknowledge our former chair, Chair Walter, who has left us for a position in Iowa, and his guidance over the last few years has been really good for a number of the existing commissioners as well as previous commissioners, and I just want to wish him the best of luck going forward.
So do I. And with that, the meeting is adjourned at 6:47.